Well, thank you so much for taking time to speak with me today. So I'll just jump right into it. You have two episodes premiering during Shark Week. What can you tell me about the biggest differences between putting together each of those?
Well, we've got obviously Cocaine Shark, which I am very, very happy and proud to be hosting. And then the other show is actually that's Michelle Jewell's show. She is the Queen of Sharks, and I'm very, very lucky to be involved with her on that show. So she gave me a ring and said, "Do you fancy a little slice of New Zealand fish?" And I said, "Yes, yes, I do." So very privileged to be involved with two goes at it. But actually, we do have a lot of similarities across the shows in that we're looking at behavior. So Michelle and I, we're both big into shark behavior. And with Cocaine Shark, we're looking at behaviors that might be twisted or wrong, sort of strange, queer things that we wouldn't expect, caused by essentially chemical poisoning, in this case with a nose full of cheap whiz. Whereas with Great White Fight Club, they're looking at the behaviors between dominant sharks. And Michelle had some great ideas and some really interesting thoughts that got on board with and sort of helped develop there. But yeah, it's all about the feelings. It's all about the feelings.
Awesome. Well, since you mentioned behaviors, when studying sharks, what qualities or behaviors do they exhibit that immediately lead you to believe that they've ingested cocaine?
Normally with sharks, whatever they are, they're very, very measured, very, very easy. It's easy swimming. They put so little effort into it's gliding. It's just smooth like butter. So exactly what's going on. The minute that you see sort of agitation, tail flicks, bucking, changes in direction, or sort of tight spinning, which doesn't really link up to anything, then you're starting to think, hang on, that's not right. And another one as well, sort of a classic for fish, this isn't just sharks, this is fish behavior as a whole, is ability to stay level in the water column. So when you start seeing animals swimming like that, or even like that, you start thinking, well, hang on, why aren't you flat? Why are you sort of on the cock and not quite straight? So those were the initial things we were looking for. But certainly with Cocaine Sharks, what was important to us was to be very, very clear on the definition between the sort of the standard behaviors and the stranger behaviors. We behavior struggles where you talk about the gray area, you need to be black and white. So we really did look to try and think, what that is there, that's very clear, that's very different, something's going on. Is it cocaine? We don't know in this instance, but something's going on.
Well, the idea of any kind of animal, for this matter, getting like high off drugs is actually pretty interesting. It's new. It's a new concept for me. In your experience, much like people end up with drug addictions, do you think sharks or any animal, like once they get a taste of that large quantity, that they go sniff it out intentionally, looking to recreate that feeling?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there has been a scientific experiment done to show that trout become addicted to meth. So you get Breaking Bad trout. And when these particular trout were made to go cold turkey, they then showed symptoms of withdrawal. They showed, they were anxious, they wouldn't feed, they wouldn't mate. And then they were given a choice between either clean water or water that had the remains of meth in it, and they all chose the meth. So they forego feeding, sleeping, and avoiding predators to be in water that contain meth. So yes, if you've got sharks or any large predators, I mean, obviously sharks are the big ones out there in Florida, and many, many different species. But there are barracuda, they're a big wrasse. These are other predatory animals, and if they start getting a little bit sketchy, then that could affect the ecosystem in so many, many different ways. And we just don't know enough about it. So, really, we need to know more before we can make a good decision on it.
Awesome. Well, that's really, really informative. Thank you much. This was like the most interesting episode that I've seen so far. I'm excited to see the other ones, but this is like that particular one with the cocaine one is really interesting because I didn't think that was really a thing. I thought it was just like, stories, but to actually see it come together in your episode was like insane. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.